Welcome guys, and in today's video we're going to be talking about intro to realism. And I guess part of what I mean by that is in the past we've been doing a lot of line work and very lined and shaded, lined and colored work. Well, today we're going to be focusing mainly on hiding those lines here and there. They're going to still be there because we needed to hold some parts of the tattoo together. And in this particular tattoo we're going to be going over, this was session 1. We're gonna get another session in here so we can really fine tune some things. Also, I'll be narrating this video, so this screen is gonna be down on the corner and I'm gonna try to walk you guys through what it is I'm doing with these clips that I have. Nonetheless, if you're ready for that, then let's go. Alright, so here I'm pretty much just putting in the black. You line a little bit, you put in a little black. I start with my darkest first, so that's going to be any of those heavy black areas where there's really not much gradation, it's just a black area. And that's what I'm doing here. And just like this, I start to line it. I'm using a 3-round liner, tight, long taper. I'm also using the CNC Q2 for this. And I dab it here, guys. Just dabbing it a little bit instead of wiping it when I can just helps keep the stencil around a little bit longer. And after I'm done lining that area, I will start pumping in my black around that area. So I line where I have to with that tight liner, and then I go in and I put my black in around it, almost eliminating that line when possible. And again, guys, back to that 3 tight, just giving myself a little barrier to work with. A little structure to hold the tattoo together in these key spots. Same in here. Same in here. Now you're gonna see that light shine on, shine off. I use all my lighting, and then I still at times will put a headlamp on because the lighting is just perfect. There's no shadows, there's no nothing. Everywhere I look, there's light. So that's why I still use it sometimes. And in here, I'm just using that little 3-round tight liner to pack in these tight areas. Just getting those so that when I come back with my mag, I don't have to worry about getting into those areas. Same here, still just kind of putting the black in, and then I take a lighter tone and start working the in-betweens. So I have my dark, and now I'm gonna start shading that up and give it a little bit of mid-tones in there. Now mind you, when you're going through a tattoo like this, there's not a whole lot of outlining. So to outline this tattoo in a session, then come back and do this, it's not really gonna work that great. So in this case, situations like this, put your black in. If you put the most black in and work your midtones at the same time, you're gonna get a full structure there. And then if there's another session, all you have to do is just beautify what's already there. Here again, using that tight 3, getting around all these little teeth here. It's all gonna be black around them, but I'm using that 3 tight liner to just get in those easier areas. So when I come back like now with my mag, I'm good to go. And in between some of these teeth and tight spots, you can manipulate your mag. You can turn it on side, like I am here, and just use the side of those needles to get into those tight spots. Again, going around the outside, creating the structure with the black, if you will. And here I just have a lighter shade that I am just trying to gently pepper that out a little bit. Just give a little bit more than a hard black right there. Apologize for the camera sometimes. It wants to autofocus on my gloves, but we'll get past it. And here again, I keep saying put your black in because I believe that is the most important, in my opinion, for this piece. And it also helps you determine your values. You know where your darkest spots are, you can visually see those. And so when you're putting your structure, shaping it with your lighter tones, you already have that dark black as your base to base the rest of the tattoo off of. On a side note, I will say I let this tattoo dry for a while. At least 30 minutes, I want to say closer to 45 by the time I had everything ready to go. We just let it set for a while. It's important if you have the time. That's gonna make your stencil hold the best, is letting it dry. That's the key. And this right here is a 23 soft edge curved mag bug pin that I have been using in these large areas. I use a 23 in this video, and on this tattoo I used an 11 and a 3 tight. So those are the 3 needles I used to make this tattoo. And again, we're just going around it. Later on there will be stuff in the eye, a bit more than just white holes, but that will come in the next session. And here you guys can see what I'm talking about. I work my way up with the black up to the eyes and nose, then I come back down and start working some of that midtones. Some of them, some of those midtones? Whatever, you get it. Work the midtones. And now I'm back to a 3 tight liner here, just getting definition in the teeth. Use that 3 anywhere that you feel comfortable using it. It's a tool. All these needles are tools. So you're looking at the piece you're gonna work on and you're trying to figure out what tools do I need to accomplish this. And for me, it was an 11, a 23, and a 3. But for you, it could be something totally different. And don't worry if it is different. It's all okay. This is just how I do it. I always say that because you guys can also be doing good stuff differently. We all are gonna do things a little differently. Here again, just putting that black in there, off on those side pieces over there, filling that black in, where later it will start creating a little definition. Shaping a little bit of the head, if you will, the skull head. Some of the eyes are getting a little shaping right here. Again, turning that mag on its side, using the soft edge, the curled side, the rounded side at times to get a nice soft gradation. Quicker you move your hand, the less ink is going to get deposited into the skin. All right, now we're up to the owl here. Again, just shaping those key parts, the nose, the eyes. We want to make sure those are defined. And again, I'm referring back to that stencil often. I'm looking at it, I have it close by. I usually have it pulled up on my iPad. I'll have my stencil digitally over top of the actual reference, so it's very easy to see what goes where. And I'm following that stencil. I have those dotted lines. Those are what are telling me we need to shade here. We need to put our black in right here. And so I'm merely following that at first. I'll put all that black in, and then we can go back in with some lighter tones and shape the bird a little bit, or shape whatever it is you're working on. My voltage varied in this piece here, guys, anywhere from 7.5 up to 8.1. It depended on what needle I was using, what effect I was trying to achieve, but that just gives you that broad range to work from with this particular CNC Q2 machine. And this is what that 11 curve mag looks like right here. And if you notice, I'll take that mag and I'll run almost like a line with it. And the more you turn that, you get another shape to it, almost like doing calligraphy, like using a calligraphy pen. You move that, you get a fatter texture or whatnot. And that's what I'm doing in some of these spots. And again, with that headlamp on, when that stencil starts to get a little light, it just helps you see it a little better. But you guys can all do this sort of thing. Just follow that stencil. Now, in the future, we're gonna go over how to make a stencil, like sort of like this or whatnot, and that'll help you. In the meantime, I do have a video that I'll link right up here. And that was when I was making a stencil for some charcoal work that I was doing. But the process of making that stencil is the same thing. Once it's done and it's dark, run it through your stencil machine, or you can make a hand stencil of it. Either way, that's how that goes. Here is what I'm talking about before. I have most of my black in. Now I'm just kind of putting the texture in, a little bit of shading here and there, giving it some shape. And again, we'll focus more on this potentially in the next session. This tattoo took about 4 hours, and I imagine we probably have a couple more hours in it on the next session just to get everything knocked out correctly. Also, there's currently no highlights in this right now. I may record that in the future and do a video showing how I put highlights in. So stay tuned for that one. Well, if you made it this far, thank you very much. I hope you learned something from the video. And if you did, give it a like, hit the bell to get notifications when I post. And until next time, guys, peace.